Hello everyone, I'm Cody.
And I'm Chantal.
Welcome to Unit 5, Essential Skills. So for today, we're going to talk about something that happened in the US and Oregon. You may not know much about that state, but during the pandemic, they kind of had to face a situation that was tough for all students, learning at home or learning, distance learning, partial in class. A lot of students suffered in their learning. And specifically within the state of Oregon, they decided to, suspend these essential skills rule for all public schools. Suspend.
Suspend.
That basically meant was that, high schoolers in their senior year, they were waived from taking the standardized tests that basically guaranteed they could read, write, and do mathematics at a basic level for graduation. Waive.
Waive.
They did this so that kids during the pandemic could graduate because they couldn't gather them to take the standardized test and, very complicated situation last year. But a lot of people thought this was a good thing to continue. And so, they are saying this should be scrapped entirely. Scrap.
Scrap.
But for now, they're suspending it for another 3 years to kind of see what's going on. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the classes. High school, think about, reminisce back. So what were the main subjects you studied in high school?
The main subjects were 2 languages, biology, science. I had to take mathematics, hated it. That's one of the classes I just roll my eyes at. Because I know some people think it's useful, but I think it's useless. Just gives you trauma. Yes, those were the main core subjects. I had some extras too, but I think those were the most important ones.
I see.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, the state of Texas kind of had this phrasing that was the 4x4. So you had 4 years of 4 core classes, which were your science, your math, your English language, and your history.
Okay.
But the history was a blend of social studies and government.
Yeah.
You had to have those essentially 16 classes fully done, and then you had extra classes. Now, out of those, some of the social studies I loved, and I went through very easily, passed with high grades. But some of them were just a little bit, like you said, you rolled your eyes at. I took calculus in high school, didn't need to.
Why?
But that kind of math, you're not really going to use,
No.
unless you're in the engineering field.
Right.
Basic arithmetic is
If
what
you're
you
going
need.
to study that, then
Right.
fine. But I would say 95% of the students are not.
Right.
So,
So some of those are less important, but our district in the state of Texas required that we also had 2 years of language. And a year of PE or sports each year.
Yeah.
So some of the things now, the PE, less important, the language. And now the language focus. First up, in spite of. So for my example, in spite of COVID restrictions, people still want to travel.
next up is not the only one who. For example, I am sure I'm not the only one who hates Mondays.
All right, now that's it for our language focus and the preview, and we'll see you on the review section.